For seconds of silence can feel like a social emergency. Nothing hostile was said, nobody left. Yet your mind may instantly ask, did I say something wrong? That feeling is not proof of rejection. It is your social prediction system reacting when the normal flow of conversation suddenly breaks. Conversation is a coordination task. One person finishes, another begins, and the handoff often happens astonishingly fast. Across 10 languages, researchers found that responses in ordinary question and answer sequences tend to arrive within a narrow timing window, often around a fraction of a second. We do not consciously run a stopwatch. We still learn what a smooth handoff feels like. That rhythm carries information. A quick, exactly, a laugh at the right moment, or a response that lands without collision tells you more than the words alone. It says the other person is tracking you. You are sharing attention. The interaction is still alive. Now break that rhythm. In a 2011 study, participants read about a group conversation. In one version, the conversation flowed after the central person made a mildly controversial statement. In another, the statement was followed by a silence. The words did not become more insulting. The gap changed how the moment felt. Participants in the disrupted condition reported more negative emotion and rejection and less belonging, self-esteem, and social validation. The researchers then made the test more concrete. Participants watched a 6-minute video of 3 people talking. The versions were nearly identical, except one included a single 4-second silence after one speaker's statement. Viewers were not reliably conscious of that edit. Their ratings still changed. The disrupted flow produced lower belonging, self-esteem, validation, and perceived consensus, and higher negative emotion and rejection. 4 seconds is not a magic universal deadline. It was a laboratory manipulation chosen for that conversation. A pause can feel short in a serious discussion and endless after a joke. The useful result is not the number. It is that conversational timing can influence social feelings even when the words stay the same. Why would flow feel like belonging? Because coordination is evidence of shared attention. Imagine walking beside someone. When both of you adjust speed without discussion, the movement feels easy. If one person abruptly stops, the other must update. Did they see something? Are they leaving? Did I miss a signal? Conversation creates a similar joint rhythm, except the steps are turns, sounds, facial changes, and tiny acknowledgments. Smoothness reduces uncertainty. A response confirms that your signal arrived and found a place in the other person's model of the moment. A sudden gap removes that confirmation. Your mind starts generating explanations, and social explanations arrive quickly. Disagreement, confusion, boredom, judgment, exclusion. The gap itself does not contain those meanings. It creates space for them. A later set of studies tested conversational flow without changing the topic. People communicated through headsets, and the researchers introduced a small delay into the auditory feedback. The delay disrupted coordination. Smoother conversations produced stronger feelings of belonging and stronger perceptions that the people formed a coherent group. The effect depended on the experience of flow, not simply on what was discussed. That finding explains why a video call can feel strangely cold even when everyone is friendly. Latency nudges turns out of alignment. People interrupt, apologize, stop, and restart. Each correction is tiny. Together they can make a warm group feel less synchronized. But silence has no single translation. In another experiment, researchers found that status changed how a pause after a speaker was interpreted. For a lower status person, the break could raise concerns about respect and inclusion. For a higher status person, a similar pause could look like attention or acknowledgement. Same empty seconds, different social structure. Relationship changes meaning too. Silence with a close friend may feel comfortable because belonging is already secure. Silence in a job interview can feel evaluative. Silence after bad news may communicate care because an instant answer would feel careless. Silence during conflict may cool the interaction, punish someone, or simply prevent a rushed response. Context is not decoration. Context is part of the signal. This is why they paused, so they dislike me, is a bad conclusion. The studies show that disrupted flow can change feelings. They do not turn awkwardness into a lie detector. Your own prediction also matters. If you expect an immediate laugh and hear nothing, the error is large. If you ask a difficult question and expect thought, the same 4 seconds may feel respectful. Awkwardness is partly the distance between the timing you predicted and the timing you received. There is a practical reframe here. When a gap feels threatening, separate the sensation from the verdict. This pause feels uncomfortable is supported by your experience. They reject me is one hypothesis among many. You can also repair flow without pretending the silence did not happen. A simple, take your time, gives the gap a cooperative meaning. I am thinking, tells the other person the connection is still active. On a delayed call, naming the lag prevents technical timing from becoming social blame. If you are the one who made a risky comment, a calm follow-up question creates a new turn without demanding instant reassurance. These are not tricks for eliminating every pause. A perfectly frictionless conversation is neither possible nor always desirable. Thinking takes time. Grief takes time. Translation takes time. People with different communication styles may use timing differently. The goal is not to fill every quiet second. It is to stop treating silence as a universal confession. Look again at the 4-second experiment. The remarkable part is not that people are fragile. It is that conversation carries a second channel. Words deliver content. Timing delivers coordination. When coordination flows, it can quietly support belonging and shared reality. When it breaks, your mind notices before you can explain why. That second channel operates at dinner tables, meetings, first dates, classrooms, and group calls. A laugh that lands late can feel less shared. An answer that arrives too fast can feel rehearsed. A pause after your name can feel evaluative. None of these impressions is infallible. They are fast guesses built from rhythm, and those guesses are useful. Humans depend on knowing whether attention is mutual. A sensitive system catches real exclusion, confusion, and conflict. It also produces false alarms, especially when technology, fatigue, language, anxiety, or careful thought slows the handoff. The final reframe is simple. Awkward silence is not empty. It is a prediction error in a social rhythm. The discomfort tells you that expected coordination disappeared. It does not tell you why. For quiet seconds can make belonging feel uncertain. They cannot decide the relationship. The next turn, the context, and the people involved give the silence its meaning.